Hey everyone, today I will be talking about engine oils in a bike. Which types of engine oils do we have in the market, and which type of engine oil is preferable to our riding style and the bike which we use. First, I'll segregate the engine oils into three types. One is the general mineral oil, the other one is semi-synthetic, and the third one is fully synthetic oil. First, I will explain you what a mineral oil is. Mineral oil also has different grades like 15W50 or 20W40 and all. The oil is extracted from the petroleum, directly from the petroleum. So this sort of oil, the mineral oil, this has a tendency of getting burnt too fast, or evaporation rate is so high in mineral oil. The mineral oil, for suppose let's take in an Enfield, it will last for about 2000 to 2500 kilometers. After that, you will have to replace the oil. So the replacing interval is more in a the mineral oil. Now I'll explain you what a semi-synthetic oil is. Semi-synthetic oil is nothing but a combination of a mineral oil and a synthetic oil. Synthetic oil is a man-made oil, and mineral oil is extracted from the petroleum, basically from the nature. So semi-synthetic oil has a very good properties, like the evaporation rate is very less in semi-synthetic oil. So the oil quantity is not going to get reduced in a bike. And also in a semi-synthetic oil, the oil interval change is very less. Like for example, the semi-synthetic oil lasts for about 4000 to 5000 kilometers in any riding conditions, whereas the mineral oil, it lasts only for about 2000 to 3000 at the maximum. You cannot go on a long ride in a mineral oil, but you can go for a long ride in a semi-synthetic oil. For maybe 3000 kilometers you can easily manage on a long ride with a semi-synthetic oil. And also the engine is going to be really smooth in a semi-synthetic oil. Now that I have explained what a semi-synthetic oil is, I'll explain what a fully synthetic oil is also. Fully synthetic oil is completely made in a lab. It's a man-made product. Okay, there is no involvement of petroleum or any natural product in it. Completely man-made. And the oil has a very good properties of lubrication of an engine. The engine is going to be really smooth in a fully synthetic oil compared to a semi-synthetic and a mineral oil. You can use the the fully synthetic oil in any long rides. For example, you're going to Ladakh in high ghat roads or high terrains, or you're going for a long ride for about maybe 6000 to 7000 kilometers. You can use fully synthetic oil, so that you need not replace the oil very often. Also, the fully synthetic oil lasts very long in a bike. You can change the fully synthetic oil maybe for about after 6000 kilometers or 6500 kilometers. And also the oil is going to be so thick. It depends on the grade as well. Okay, now I'll show you what the grading of an engine oil is. For example, we have seen many numbers on an engine oil, right? 15W50 or 20W40 and all. I'll show you what it is. To explain you more precisely about an engine oil and explain the grading of an engine oil, now I have a Motul 15W50 semi-synthetic oil. So in a close-up, I'll show you the grading, and I'll also explain you in detail about it. Here I have the Motul 15W50 engine oil. This is a semi-synthetic oil which is being used in a 4-stroke engine. You all see a number here, right, which is 15W50. Okay, 40 stands for 4-stroke. Okay, and 15W50 is a number which I'm going to explain now. Here in 15W50, W stands for winter, and you all see the 40, right? 40 stands for a 4-stroke engine. Okay, and I'll explain you what that 15W is. 15W is the value at which the engine oil retains its viscosity at the lowest temperature. So for example, let's take, I have two engine oils with me. One is 10W50 and the other one is 15W50. 10W50 has a better properties of maintaining the viscosity at a lower temperature. The cold starts are going to be good in a 10W50 oil. I recommend you to use oil which has, you see this value, right? If the value is so less, I recommend you to use it only in terrains like the Himalayas, or the regions where the temperature is really low and you have a tough time in starting the bike. Now I'll explain you what this value means. 50 is the value where the engine oil retains its viscosity at the highest temperatures. Like let's say, for example, you're living in a place where the temperature is too high, and obviously when you go on a bike and your bike gets heated, right, the engine oil also gets heated up. Even at highest temperatures, the engine oil should regain the viscosity. You need not get so confused about this number, because in the bike manual you will be having the oil grade which is recommended to the engine. It also depends on the engine construction type. For a long stroke engine there is a different grade, and for a short stroke engine there is a different grade. It is also applicable in the region which you are living. Okay, for example, you are staying in a region where the temperatures are too high. This value you see, right, 50, that value needs to be a little bit more. And for example, if you stay in a region where the temperature is really low, like 3 to 4 degrees, but still the engine needs to run in the same way, right? The oil, the viscosity shouldn't be losing, right? So in that case, this number 15, that should be a little bit lower, like you have 10W also. And also if you want the engine oil to be more thicker and you're using your bike in a very rough way, you can go for 20W50, because 20W50 has more thicker oil. Since I ride a Bullet 350, the best recommended grade is 15W50, because it will retain the viscosity in the lowest temperatures as well. And also if you're cruising in summer seasons and the engine is getting really heated up, that will retain the viscosity at that temperatures as well. If you have an Enfield, then you can go for 15W50 semi-synthetic oil. Previously I used to use a mineral oil for my Bullet standard 350, but then I had switched to semi-synthetic oil, because in a mineral oil very frequently I used to change the engine oil. Because for example, let's take, I fill 2.5 liters of engine oil in my engine, and I use it for about 3000 kilometers. And then after 3000 kilometers, when I drain the engine oil, I get only 2 liters of engine oil. So half liter is evaporated away. Now that I'm using a the semi-synthetic oil, when I drain the engine oil at 5000 kilometers also, that is still fine. You can use the semi-synthetic oil for about 4000 to 5000 kilometers, but only in city riding conditions. When you go on a long ride with semi-synthetic oil, I think it will last only for about 3000 to 3500 kilometers, because you continuously cruise at 80 to 100 speeds. If you're using a fully synthetic oil, I can assure you that till 5000 to 6000 kilometers, there wouldn't be any issue with the oil or any issue with the engine. The engine is still going to be smooth even after 5000 kilometers of the engine oil. Okay, so whenever you're going on a long ride or something, I recommend you to use a synthetic oil, fully synthetic, because you don't want your engine to get rough, right, when you're on a long ride. Today I have explained you what a synthetic oil is, what a semi-synthetic oil is, and what a mineral oil is. I will simply segregate it. Mineral oil is an oil which is extracted from petroleum. Semi-synthetic is a combination of a synthetic oil and a mineral oil. Fully synthetic is a fully synthetic oil which is made in a lab. If you're cruising for about in a city limits, basically, you can use the mineral oil. And if you're going for a short rides, you can use a semi-synthetic oil. And if you're going on a long ride in hilly terrains, or basically riding the engine in a very tough conditions, you can go for fully synthetic oil, because fully synthetic oil also the drain interval is very longer, or you can use the oil for about 5000 kilometers. Semi-synthetic oil would last only for 4000 to 3000 kilometers, and mineral oil I can say for about 2500 to 3000, that too in city riding conditions. So depending on this and also the grades I have explained you can choose your oil. In the description I will actually put the links of 3 types of oil, okay, and also I will clearly type it so that you will have a better understanding about the grades. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Cheers.